There's lots of people who will never call you, such as Microsoft or Apple. Unless you call them and you're waiting for a return phone call, they're not going to call you out of the blue and tell you you have a virus on your computer. They have no idea you have a virus on your computer. There's no way for them to tell that, and they're not going to help you get rid of it anyway. So they're not going to call you for that. The IRS is not going to call you. They like to send certified mail letters. They like to go old school. Social Security office, same kind of thing. Another one I keep getting, it's called Medicare. It's actually called Medicare Services. If you actually talk to them on the phone, you find out they say they're from Medicare, and then as you start talking to them and find out more information, they call themselves Medicare Services, and they have nothing to do with Medicare whatsoever. Again, it's another scammer. The other one I'm getting lately is, maybe you've gotten some of these, is somebody calling up and saying they need to upgrade your cable box. I don't have a cable box, I use YouTube TV, so. But they're calling and say, hey, we're from the cable company, we need to upgrade your cable box. Then you watch your TV. I'm like, nope, sorry, I'm not on my TV, bye. Again, they're scammers, they're probably going to lock up your cable box if you let them do whatever, or they're just looking for some personal information to try to scam you with. So, people that call you out of the blue are pretty much people you probably don't want to talk to anyway. They're either trying to sell you something or they're trying to scam you. We have a lot of, I'll go through a few of these fake emails here I saved. This one here, I know this gets kind of small, but this one here, Ducky Luck Casino, sends me a message saying, hey, I get $15,000 if I want to sign up for this service. Oh, why not, right? But if you look at the top, it has my name on it as the from person. How did my name get up there? It's just the way they spoof emails. And it says newsletter at print, and you can't see the rest of it there, but it says printdus.com. Well, if I was getting something from Ducky Luck Casino, I'd expect to say duckyluck.com, not printdus.com. So that kind of lets you know it's a fake email. One, that's got my name on it as the from person, and two, that it has the wrong, email address on it. And then if I were to scroll down, and it has all these things on here, and I can confirm. Another way I always look at it is there's a little unsubscribe way down here at the bottom. And if I hover over that, and I just put my mouse on it, I don't click it, it says utbbin.club. So that doesn't match anything on there either. So this should always match, the links in the email should always match who it comes from. And it doesn't match. So that tells you it's a fake email.
Question about that unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told not to try to unsubscribe because then they know you're a person.
In these kind of emails, you don't want to unsubscribe, these fake emails, because nothing matches, and it's a scam anyway, so you're not going to end up unsubscribing, you're just subscribing to more of their garbage. So they really won't unsubscribe you. Here's the same thing, Dr. Oz says I need to lose weight, no surprise there. But the email's coming from...
Even if he's right.
even if the email is correct. But it does say at the top, it says Geek Squad at email.info.geeksquad.com. Well, I don't think Dr. Oz is really associated with Geek Squad. And again, if I were to scroll down and look down here, and to be removed, unsubscribe, click here. Again, it's this utbbin.club, whatever scammer that is. So again, nothing matches. Geek Squad doesn't match utbbin.club. It doesn't match Dr. Oz, what I would expect. So it's probably a good idea not to click on it. There's another one, support at PayPal. Now you can see they actually cut the name off here. It says payp ... Again, that's just the name they put in there. And you can see that, again, that's fake because it says problem5671 at, saboteur.com. And it's got this document in it. The other thing not to do is do not open the document. Most likely there's some kind of code built into this document that's going to run on your computer. Probably start downloading something. So it's not a good idea to click on that document and review that. So, this does not match PayPal. It definitely didn't come from PayPal. You don't want to click on that. We got another one here, another credit card. It's $1,000 limit. Again, ivoryges.com. That really doesn't match Fortiva card. I would expect something different. So there's all kinds of stuff like this, and I could go through a ton of these. T-Mobile. Again, you're selected a newsletter at ivoryges.com. So again, none of this stuff matches. You can also tell these too, because T-Mobile has this little A and a little registered trademark symbol. So again, it's got a spelling mistake in it. So that tells you something's wrong there too. Here's another PayPal one, again, us.com. So it's wrong. I had another one here. Nutrisystem wants me to lose weight too. And if you click on the Oprah one, it looks exactly the same. The ones from Oprah, it doesn't tell you what email address it comes from. The other Nutrisystem doesn't tell you what email address it comes from. But again, it's one of those things that does not look right. Don't click on it. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. There was one more. There's another one here. So we saw those PayPal ones. Here's another one. This one says Amazon Gifts, but it looks exactly like the PayPal one. In fact, they even forgot to change the word PayPal. So they changed the email address at the top. Well, they changed the name Amazon Gifts, and they wrote Amazon in the title, but they forgot to change it in the body of the message. They did not write Amazon. They wrote PayPal. They left the PayPal. So again, you can tell it's fake. Here's another one that looks like it comes from me. It has my name on it, but it says newsletter IBGIS. So again, they spoofed my name and put my name in front of it just because when it came to my mailbox, they have a way to do that. You'll see other ones too, even if it's somebody you might think you know. I had somebody call me today, or saw me in the pub today and said, hey, I just want to let you know, Jackie in accounting sent me a fake FedEx email. It looks like it comes from Dottar. It says Jackie Koresh at Dottar.com, but it's not. It was one of the fake FedEx emails. Again, it's just spoofing. You get an email in your inbox, and it picks a different email in your inbox to say who it comes from. So that's why these are the easy ones to spot that I'm showing you, but they can also get harder to spot. Here's a FedEx one. Again, it's got the wrong email address at the top. It doesn't say FedEx.com. It says IBGES.com. Same thing, ARP. Is it UPS? Again, this is a fake UPS. UPS is not going to use all these emojis at the top in the title. They're not going to put the David.Morissette in there. They copied that from my email address. So these are all wrong. You don't want to click on these links. You don't want to unsubscribe. You just want to, you could right click on them, say go to junk, just delete them, and just, be careful out there because, again, like I said, people are getting emails that look like they come from legitimate people, but look for the little mistakes, look for the spelling mistakes, look for the stuff that doesn't look right. If anybody's trying to, anything's too good to be true, all these emails, $500 for this, $900 for that, nobody's giving money away. We all know that. I wouldn't be here if they were giving money away. I'd be signing up. There was like $4 grand right there in these emails that I could collect. So that sounds like much more fun. Here's another one here. This one here, Discover the World Limited 3D Box Art. And it also says Morissette at the end. What's that for? It says the Morissette players gather, like it's a family reunion thing or something like that. But it's this weird site of selling stuff. So again, they take your name, they move it, they do something with it. It says it comes from hey190512 at Gmail. And if I scroll down and go through this, they have art. It looks like a buying site or whatever, but if I went to the unsubscribe button, it's going to have a weird email address on that too. So if I just hover over the buy now, 8bdy.com. I don't know what that is. So if it looks funny, don't open it. Don't click on it. That's the safest way to be with everything. So besides that, it's all like I said, the emails, Amazon, PayPal, Home Depot, Chase, and Norton. They come from everybody under the sun. It's one of the big scams. The email is the one they're trying to get the biggest audience with. They're sending out 1 million of these emails a day, hoping to get 1% of the people to click on them. And if they can get $20 from every 1% that clicks on them, they're making some money. So we don't want to give them any of that. Make them work for their money. I put some real emails in here just to see. So you can see this one was a Home Depot one. It says Home Depot customer care at homedepot.com. It's a real email. If you scroll down, you'll see, it says homedepot.com at the bottom. If you click here, homedepot.com is in all the links. So everything matches on this email. It is a real email. Same thing with this Twitter one. It says info@twitter.com. Everything matches it. Anything you highlight over without clicking on it, it tells you it's twitter.com. So it all kind of works. There's another one I have with HGTV. Same thing. These were some legitimate emails, just to give you an example of that it's pretty easy to spot some of the legitimate ones. So the other thing, passwords. So there are several ways that they try to attack you. So email is one. They're trying to get your personal information. They're trying to get you signed up for stuff, scan you on for a few bucks. The other one they try to do is, they do what they call brute force attack, where they go in after your password. Several examples of this. I had somebody call me up, said their wife's email was hacked along with their Netflix account, and they were in the account. This was what I call brute force attack. A bunch of Russians in a room. They have a piece of software and they're trying to hack your password. His password was 4 letters. It was their initials. He told me what it was. Again, that's a no-no. Don't tell anybody your password. I mean, he said my password is blah, blah, blah. And I went, that was not the right thing. So they do these brute force attacks. And I have an image here that shows you how long a piece of software takes to find your password. And if your password is, in this case, this was letters only, lowercase letters, number of characters, 4 characters, it was instantly they had his password. And he told me he uses the same password for every single thing he does. And so far they were in his Netflix account, and why do they want to get into your Netflix account? They don't want to get in to watch movies because your credit card information is saved in there. Your credit card information is saved on Amazon, Home Depot, all these. This is what they're trying to get. They want your credit card information. They're doing the simplest way. They're not trying to get $100,000 from you. If they get $10 from every person and they get 100,000 people, they're making some good money. So your password is very important on being secure. So you can see how long it takes. I mean, the standard used to be 8 characters. And 8 characters, if you were using numbers, letters, uppercase letters, kind of a mix of things, 8 characters, it takes an hour. That's not a very good ratio. Recently, Microsoft decided, a couple of years ago, they were going to go from 8-character passwords to 16. And they were going to make you, all your computers, to go to 16 characters. They did a little study and found that ended up not being a good idea because everybody was making phrases. And at first they just said, hey, do phrases. But when you type an email now and it starts guessing the phrase for you, and when you're typing in a Word doc, it starts guessing the phrase for you, well, it's guessing everybody's passwords. Because you start typing that over and over again, and now your computer knows that's what you typically type all the time, and it starts putting that in the sentences. So it started to become too easy. And when they make you change your password every 90 days, it was becoming too easy for you to you were making your passwords too easy. So Microsoft said, okay, we're going to just say you need to have a secure password. Don't use part of your name. Don't use part of your email address. Secure password, we're not going to make you change it anymore. They found that as long as people made a secure password, it lasts a lot longer. So, even if you went 10 characters and you used a mix of numbers, upper and lowercase letters and symbols, and a mix, it would take 5 years for the software to crack your password in 10 characters. So, that's pretty good. The software just runs through every combination possible to try to find out what your password is. And if you change your password once a year, you probably never have to worry about it again. So it's a good idea to do that. The things not to use, you don't want to use your name. You don't want to use where you worked. You don't want to use where you live. You don't want to use your kids' names, grandchildren's names, pets' names. Don't use anybody's birthdays or anniversary dates. These are big things. This is what the hackers go for. I can tell you we had an employee who had their email hacked because they were using their grandchild's name as their password. It's very easy to find that information. I do a lot of genealogy. I can tell you right now, it's very easy for me to take your name, find out your kids' names, your grandchildren's names, and your birthdays. Probably in about 20 minutes, I can have your little family tree built. It's not hard to do. This is what the hackers do. Like I said, the employee, they were targeted. It was a targeted attack. They looked up, they probably saw a commercial for something. We had all these golf tournaments that Dotton advertises for. They saw Dotton Island somewhere. They go, ooh, that looks like a nice community. I bet there's a lot of people with money there. Let's see what we can do. And they search on LinkedIn, they search on that, they find somebody in a certain position, and they go, that's the person we're going to target. And they start targeting them. And they start researching them and find them. And again, if you're using one of your kids' names or something, you're going to get caught. So there's those things. A couple other targeted attacks. Some of these can come a little more local. So I had another member who called me up, kind of in a panic one day. somebody that saw them somewhere or knew them. This had to be a local attack because they knew about them. Her husband has a health issue and has some dementia. So she went out for a while for the day, and she was gone in the morning out shopping or whatever, and she comes home, and while she was gone, the husband got a phone call. And the phone call was some guy going, "Hey, I'm your financial advisor, we met yesterday, we want to move that $50,000 into such and such account that we talked about." He's like, "Really? What? We met yesterday?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you know how to move money?" "Well, yeah, I could do it, but..." He goes, "Well, we have to do it now because, such and such thing, I set up the account and we want to get this done." He goes, "All right." So he goes on the computer, he logs in, and he moves, the guy gives him the account, I can walk you through it. Guy gives him the account number to transfer money to, and he transfers $50,000. The wife comes home, he goes, "Oh, the financial planner called and told me to move that $50,000. She said, "What are you talking about?" He didn't remember seeing some guy yesterday, but that was kind of typical for him. Lucky he remembered to tell her as soon as she came home that this guy called. So she was at her parents, so she called the bank, and they're like, "Yeah, you were in your account, you moved $50,000. And so of course now she had to go through this whole big thing of proving it was her that was on the phone, and she had to send licenses and scan stuff in and do all that so that they could stop the transfer of the money. But this is, again, this was a personal attack. Somebody saw him somewhere, somebody knew he was that, in a health condition, a little bit of dementia or whatever, and targeted them to do that. Another one we had recently is somebody bought a new laptop. They got the laptop a couple of weeks, they have the laptop, all of a sudden they get a phone call, they're kind of busy doing something, so they're half paying attention. The person goes, "Hey, I'm from," I don't remember where they bought the laptop from, but let's just say Best Buy. "I'm from Best Buy, we want to check on your computer, you almost install the latest virus software, we'll do all that." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So she gets the guy logged into the computer, and he's doing this thing, and she's watching him download the software, and just think anything of it. But she's half paying attention because she's got something going on over here. So the guy goes, "He goes, this is going to take 15 or 20 minutes, I can call you back when I'm finished." And she goes, "Oh, okay, that sounds good." And she hangs up. And then she goes into the other room to do what she was doing. And as she's in the other room doing her thing, she goes, "I'm being scammed." And she runs back in the other room and looks at the laptop, and there's her bank account information up on the screen. Because, of course, all her passwords were saved in her browser or whatever. So she immediately goes over, shuts the laptop off, kind of the right thing to do, get rid of them. Shuts the computer off, and she goes out and does some alignment, comes back, turns the laptop back on. Now the laptop's locked, and it says, "Call this number to unlock it." In the meantime, they've been calling her every 10 minutes, trying to get her back on the phone. And she's been ignoring their calls, so she gave it to me. This laptop was locked. I had to wipe it clean. I had to download a factory image from HP and lock and fix it. I took her from her. I said, "Can I have this overnight?" I said, "So I really want to find out what happened here." They really locked this thing. I hadn't seen anything like that before. But that was one of the things. So how did they figure out that she bought a new laptop? How did they know it was an HP? They knew all about it. My guess is the box. She probably had bought it online, had it shipped. Your address, your phone number, your name is all in the box. That box came probably from California, went across country, touched how many hands, switching from truck to truck, plane to plane, getting to your house, and the address label was on the box the whole time. It could even have been, you took that box, went down to the recycle center, dropped it in the box down there. That box goes somewhere else, you didn't take the label off of it. It goes to a recycle center. It could have, anywhere along the line, somebody got that information and knew they bought a new computer. So these are just things to watch out for, things to be careful of. Watch out for those labels you leave on boxes when you send them down to recycle. Your personal information is something you want to guard and take care of. So,
Hey, David, got a question. Microsoft Edge, how safe is that for managing your password?
I don't like to save my passwords in there. If you have a really strong password on your computer, you're probably pretty safe. I still don't do it. I keep all my passwords separate. I don't save them on the computer. I can tell you, I saw somebody the other day. I was helping a friend doing it. He forgot to, and his email application was no good anymore. It had gone on a date. Microsoft didn't support it anymore. He was using a really old version of mail, and it went on a date like last year. Finally, all of a sudden, he couldn't send email anymore. So I'm like, "Oh, all right." I said, "Do you know your password for your email? And I'll set you up in Outlook or the other mail app." I don't know the password, because I haven't touched it in years. So of course, but I could go into the browser, and I can tell you what it was. So I can go into Edge or Chrome, this works in either one. I can hit the button up here, I can come down here and manage my passwords. I saw it earlier. That was right here. Let me just seconds. Good, because I don't have that saved. I had one saved and it was,
Halfway down, right?
oh here it is, okay, on this side. So here in the middle, I can click passwords and it shows me, okay, so I have one here. wallstreetsin.com, I have a password saved. But I can go and I can just hit this and I can see what it is. It wants my Microsoft password to do that. Because I have a password on Microsoft. But I can see what that password was. So for him, I was able to do that and see what his password was. I go, oh, here's your password. And he had hundreds of sites with saved passwords there. So if somebody can get into your computer, they can find all your passwords if you're saving them. And not my personal choice. I use this. This probably isn't the most secure either, but I like this one. I use Evernote. It's more of a note-taking device. Program. I don't have it on this computer. But I have it on my personal computer. It's in my phone. I like it because I can search in my phone for it. But it's a password-protected app, and I keep all my passwords in there.
What is it?
Evernote.
Evernote.
It's a free program that comes with Windows. It should be. It's probably on this computer, but I'm not logged into it on here. So I don't use it on this computer. I use it on my personal one.
Does it look like a little yellow pad?
I think it's a green
It
icon.
used to look like a little yellow pad.
Yeah. Evernote, it's a little green elephant. So you can keep notes with that. You don't have to use it for passwords. I happen to use it for passwords. I have it. Again, you could use the app without a strong password on it. You use it just to keep notes, and it's a great little note-taking app. I use it for that. I put a better password on it, and I use it to keep my password just because it's searchable. It makes it easy for me to find my password, so that's my personal choice for that.
Is that better protected than Microsoft Notes?
Yes. Yeah. All right. Let's get into something else here. It's enough passwords and telling you have to be better. So just a few tips and tricks on here. So when you're on the websites, and I'm just going to pick something here, like a CW. Doesn't like that one. Try the one everybody wants. We're a little slow here. Come on. This one. Okay, so here, this happens to be the North Star login for the back office that all us employees use, but there's just a few little tools you can use up here. So up here in the top, there's a little collections button. It's kind of like your favorites. So you have your favorites and you have a star, and you can have favorites across the bar, and you can have your big favorites list that you pull down, and it gives you all these websites, but you also have this thing called collections. And it's kind of like that. I just threw a few things in here. And if I click on that, so these are certain web pages I save. So instead of being a link to the main site, these are certain pages you can save. And you can make multiple collections and, call them whatever you want. Sports and money and all that. And it could be your favorite sites and favorite pages you want to keep for different reasons. Here happened to be about a virus thing, about some 90-year-old guy being scammed from the cable guy. So it's another way to organize different favorites and different things you like. So that's a nice little tool for that. And if I hit these three little buttons up here in the settings things, there's a web capture, and if I click on that, I can capture an area or I can capture the full page. So if I wanted just this headline, because I wanted to send it to somebody, like I said, if this was a picture of something, I could just do this and hit copy, and now it's copied, and I can paste it into Word or an email or do whatever I want with it. So it makes it nice to be able to clip stuff right out of the page like that. And then besides the web capture, there's also web select. Kind of does the same thing. You can grab and start selecting. And if I do that area there, I can do the same thing, I can just copy, and then I can paste that into something. I can come over here, paste this into here. I just pasted that in there. So it's a nice way to be able to clip stuff right off the page. The other one that's nice is something they built into Windows way back in Windows Vista that I still amazed sometimes that people don't know about this one. It's the snipping tool. Snipping tool is one of my favorites. I use this all the time. This came out before they had the web capture and all that, so this was the way you used to clip stuff off. You just say new, and again, I can clip something, and it clips that, and then I can, and it's underneath my little thing here. Something in the way. Oh, I'm on video mode. You can do a video too. So if I do this video, and after that here, I'll do the video first then. If I get start, so it's counting down, and as I move this page around and do this, it's creating a video, it's recording what's inside that little red window. So you have different modes for the snipping tool. I happen to have it on that little video button here. But now it's created this video, and I can play that, and it's going to it just recorded everything I did. And it's playing my video. So whatever steps you're doing on your computer, you can record and then have that video. So the other part of this is that I was here in the video mode up here at the top, this video in this picture mode. And so if I go to picture mode and I just say new, and again if I just wanted this clip, I can clip that, I can save this somewhere. So it puts it in this little note, I can save this somewhere, I can actually even just copy and paste it now. Same thing. Because it did clip that, I don't have to save it, I can just copy and paste it. And it pasted it. And the other nice part about this one is too, is you can actually make shapes. And like I said, I just want this piece here. And it makes just that. So it's a quick little snipping tool to do that. One of my favorites, I use that one all the time. It's one of the things
Where
that...
did you start that one? I'm sorry. Where did you start your...
I started just down here in the search button, and I just thought it was snip. It's in your menu.
Okay.
It's in your start menu, but here I type snip, and then it comes up as one of the programs. The search button is also a great tool. I know a lot of people, everybody they hit the Windows button, the menu comes up, and then they hit all apps, and they search through the list. And it's just so much easier to either use the search bar at the top, or you can just use the search bar at the bottom. You pretty much never go through the list anymore. You can just type what you want, and it brings the app up. And it'll also find, if you have documents and stuff that have the word in it you're looking for, it'll actually search through them on your computer and find those documents.
David, on the third bar where you have North Star up there,
Yeah?
how do you change that? How do you get rid of those and add new ones?
Okay, if I wanted to get rid of, so this is the favorites bar at the top. So if I wanted to get rid of one here, I can just right click on it, and it'll give me if I right click on it, I can delete it. And I can get rid of that. And then when you're adding one, let me go to something else. Just put something different in here. So if I wanted to add one here, I just click on the star here to add to favorites, and I have a choice whether I want to put it in my favorites list, or if I put it on the favorites bar. And if I put it in the favorites bar, then it will show up top here. And I have too many, so it has a little arrow at the end with the rest of them that I have on that top bar.
Hey David, does the clipping tool work on PDF?
Yes, it'll work on anything. Yep. The snipping tool will clip out of anything. That makes it my favorite. The other one that's kind of nice to use is they have sticky notes. Came up with this a few years ago. And if you hit sticky, you see sticky notes. And it makes sticky notes on your computer. And they'll save on here, and they save in your settings. And you can type whatever notes you want. And it makes sticky notes. And if I hit the menu, I can see my notes list. And you see, I have several sticky notes. And if I want to call one of them up, I can just click on them, and it calls them up and gives me a list.
Where did you find the app for this? I mean, where is it in your screen?
I type sticky,
Oh.
but it's in your regular apps menu. It's a Windows program. If I scroll down, if I scroll down the S, it's down here, got sticky notes. So that's another one of my favorites. The other real powerful one too is that a lot of times you don't use is the calculator. Because you might think the calculator just adds a few numbers here and there, but this one does so much more. Okay, make this bigger. And as you can see right now, it happens to be on currency, and it said, do I want to switch from China yen to dollars? And I can say 8, it tells me how many US dollars that is. And you can change this to whatever you want. So you can have the standard calculator, which is your regular thing. You have scientific, graphing, programmer, date, currency. You could do volumes. You could do millimeters or whatever, or cups. You want to know cups to gallons. If I say 8, it's 8 cups is half a gallon. I can change this number down here and say I want 8 gallons, it's 128 cups. So you have all these choices of things you can pick, so it's a nice conversion tool, even has UK in it. So it has all kinds of, for changing the lengths, weight, mass, temperatures, energy, area, speeds, time, so all kinds of different conversions for everything. I know there was some that they were excited to see this. I did an employee one a few weeks ago of this, and I showed the calculator, like, oh my God, I can figure out how old somebody is by putting in their birthday. And I was like, yeah. You can tell, so Holly was really excited. She's always trying to figure out somebody's age or something, and you just put in the person's birthday, and it tells you years, days, minutes. It was. So that's another great tool for that. I like to do. Let's see. Just zooming in and out. I know everybody thinks everything is too small all the time. The quickest way to zoom on an email is this little bar down at the bottom. And they have these little, in all the Office suites, they have all these in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You can blow anything up, bigger or smaller. On a touchscreen, you can just pinch with your fingers and move it back. To do that, but if you're trying to make everything bigger, instead of just one item like that, the best way to do that is, I know this is always popular, you just go to display settings. I know everybody's always trying to, they make the icons bigger, they make the fonts bigger, they make all these different settings, but the simplest way is just, with one setting here, you just change the scale, say I want this 250% bigger, and it makes everything bigger for you. And then everything you do is just bigger. The icons are bigger, the text is bigger, and it just makes everything a little bit bigger for you. So sometimes you want to send files to somebody, and of course your email goes, that's too big, you can't send that. So for example, if I have all these pictures here and I want to send all of these to somebody, I could just select them all. I could right-click. And is everybody using Windows 11? Some people still on Windows 10? You notice that Windows 11 looks a little different? So Windows 11, the big change is they took the copy and paste and all that, they put it at the top, the delete, instead of being in the menu. Takes a little bit to get used to that. And then they put some stuff in show more options at the bottom. So if I hit show more options, I have send to on Windows 10 is right in that main menu usually. And I can say send to zip file, I can press zip folder, and I'll zip those all down into a separate folder, and I can call it whatever I want. And it made all those things smaller, and put them all in one little file that I can send to somebody. And then when somebody gets that, or if you get one, all you do is double click on it to open it, and you can see everything in it. And then you can easily just drag and drop stuff, everything out of it. So zip files, one easy way to do that. If you have pictures and you're trying to resize them, right, everybody's trying to resize their picture to put it in their profile on the website. Go and put a certain size. Again, if I open up one of these, let's see if I can find something a little bigger. There we go. Pick one of these. So I have this picture here. If I want to make some edits to this picture, up here in the top is this edit image button. And as soon as I hit that, it's going to give me several options. So when it gives me a little crop screen around it, so I can say, well, I don't want this whole thing. I just want the card. So this one, I'm making the picture smaller. I want to say that picture was a little crooked, and I just want to straighten out the card. So you have this little bar at the bottom where you can change the orientation of the picture itself. Maybe I'll just go down there. And I can save that. And now that picture is a little bit smaller and all that, but I can also rotate it again. So if you have pictures that came out sideways or whatever, when you were taking pictures, all you do is hit this little rotate button and you can rotate them. And then you also have, on the See More button over here, the three little dots, over here you have Resize Image. So this is where when you have one of those big photos and you're trying to scrunch it down to a certain pixel size and it says, hey, that can only be 300 pixels wide. I can just change it to 300. I hit save, and it'll shrink that picture down. That's going to resave it somewhere. Save it there. And now we'll save that picture at a much smaller size and rescale it. So this photo editor does a lot of cropping and editing and those little things. I see so many people going, I need Photoshop to do that or something else. So you go online and use some tool online, it's already in your computer. That's another fun one for you. So when you're doing an email, or in Word, or any way you are, and if you're typing along, you want to add emojis. Because in your phone you can add all the emojis, the smiley faces, and all this fun stuff. And in your email, you really don't do that. Well, all you do is hold down the Windows key and hit the plus sign. So your keyboard has a Windows key, it's got a little Windows symbol on it. I hit something, sorry, I blew it up. Okay, it was supposed to be the Windows key. Oh, sorry, it's not the plus. I have plus in there. It's the Windows key and the semicolon. I have Windows key plus semicolon. Can't even read my own notes. Let's be semicolon. There we go. Okay, so now you get all the little emojis. You can see you can even put little gifs in there. So you can make it work just like your phone does and put emojis in your emails. Let's see. Another thing you can do is when you have all these pictures, such as I have in this big folder, if I decide I want to rename all these because they all have these numbers on them, don't mean anything to me, I can select all the pictures. I can then right click, hit show more options again, hit rename, and I can call them golf pics. And it renamed them all golf pics. Just put a number after each one of them. So you can rename all your files all at once. So if you have a big folder, you have a bunch of stuff in it, you want to name it vacation photos, you can put that on there and do that. Okay. Any questions for any of that? No? Everybody's good? Okay. Well, let's go to our apps. This. Okay, so this is the Dottar app on your phone. Everybody have the Dottar app on their phone? Okay, good. I'm gonna log in.
Do you get this from the App Store?
Yes. Yep. Either in Google or in Apple, you can get it from the app. Just search for Dottar Island. Uses the same login and password as the member website. See, it's exactly the same. So when I log in, I see me. I hit menu down here, and of course you all know the icons, but down at the bottom you have grab and go. So this is going to tell me the deli's closed. I'm going to have to reopen the deli to show you this. So the deli's closed. You can place orders up to 2 hours prior to the opening or prior to your desired pickup time. So hold on, I'm going to open the deli here so we can show you what the app really looks like because they're closed now. While we wait for that, we'll do the other one. Tech Control. Is everybody using Tech Control for their visitor passes? No. Oh. Okay, so the Tech Control is our gate pass system. You know, when you first signed up and they put your vehicles in the system, whatever, usually they gave your email address. Probably at the time, for some of you who've been here for a long time, they didn't have the app back then. So if you don't have a login for it, if you go to the website, can you log in? If you can't log in on the website when you go to put in passes, you need an account to do that. All you need to do is email security, or you can email me, and just say, I'd like a tech control access. And all of a sudden
Is it TechWare or is it Tech Control?
it's tech control. You can call it Tech Wave or Tech Control, we call it both. The app is called Tech Control, so that's why I like to call it Tech Control. So if you tell security, you tell me to do that, you'll get an email after that from Tech Control that says, sign up for access to Tech Control. When you get that email, I think you only have like 12 hours to sign up, otherwise the email expires.
It's a link.
It's a link, yeah, you gotta get a link from Tech Control saying, sign up. And that link is only good for like 12 hours. So you have to sign up and create your account. So once you do that, you have your username and password. You can either do it from the member website, you can go in and hit there's a gate pass button on the member website, and you can do it there, or you can use the app on your mobile device. So this is the app on the mobile device. And it uses your username and password. Whatever you create when you do this, it's generally your email address. I know for me it's my email address.
The app will be the same as your,
The app would be the same as doing it on the website. The username and password will be the same, whichever one you use. Okay, so when you log into the app, it tells you what your credentials are. So it says, this is the number, the little sticker that's on my car, my gate pass, 6743, gives you my name, tells me I have a Ford Taurus, and it gives you your information. So up here in the corner, you have the little hamburger button, the menu button. And if you click on the menu button, you have visitors. So you click on visitors, it says I don't have any visitors right now. I just have the little plus sign. I put in somebody's name. St. George. Jungle. If they were a company name, like in my case, I'm usually like a vendor through the gate to come visit us to do something, I would put the company name in there. Host address means they're coming to your house, or if you were meeting somebody, like at the Golf Pro Shop or something, you could say, hey, they're going to the Golf Pro Shop. Guest, you can put in your dates. Right now that's set to today. So you can pick whatever date you want. If you need it for multiple times, I can say this is on the 29th. My visitor is here. Okay, so at this point you have two choices. You have contact email and contact phone number. So this is your guest's email or phone number. And if you put their email or their phone number in here and you hit save and send ePass, they will get a text message if you put in their phone number, or if you did their email, they're going to get an email. When they get that email, it's going to have a link into a barcode. Now when they pull up to the gate, they just take out their phone and show that barcode. The security guy's going to come out, they scan the barcode, the pass prints out, they hand them the pass, and they're in. There's none of this. Anybody been up to the gate, had a big truck sitting there, and you can't hear, nobody can hear anything going, how do you spell that? What's your address? There's a lot of that going on, trying to figure out how to spell somebody's name, how to do that. It takes a lot of time. The line backs up at the gate. This is much quicker. They just pull up, hold up the phone, they scan it, they're off. Makes it much easier. So if you put in your person's, either their cell phone or their email address, they'll get that, and you can say save and send ePass. If you're not sending an ePass, somebody doesn't have a cell phone or whatever, you just have to hit save. This saves it into the system. When they pull up the security, they say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm here to visit so-and-so. They'll search for that and find it. Yes?
Question for you. Can you only put in the email or the phone?
One or the other, you don't need both.
You can't put both, I don't think. I think if you put both, the experience I had was it keeps telling me the phone number's wrong. Just so people know.
You have to put only the number, no dashes, nothing.
Nothing, you wouldn't take both. When I tried to put a phone number in, it's like I put both in. They'll probably make a liar of it.
I put both.
Mine didn't work.
We'll see if I get them. You give it a second. So you can go in here, you can look, you can see it's like, I can hit expired over here, and I can see all the people I've let in before, you know, the test messages and who has come in, so you can see your past guests. You know, if I hit valid, it shows me who the valid pass is, which is George with the Jungle here. And if I say all, it gives me a list of both together. So it just gives you that list. So this is the nice part, is to be able to hold that up and do that. It's a big time saver for security. It's a big time saver for your guests to get through the gate. You know, especially when I'm up there so many times and you can't hear what's going on. There's a truck there, they're answering the phone. There's somebody on the other side of the gate talking to them. There's a lot of activity happening up there, so this just makes it much easier to do that.
How long is it valid for?
The pass is valid for whatever date you set.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever date you set.
Well, the date.
From beginning to end.
Now, if I had-
It's
if I had
something
to-
per week, you can do the
Yeah.
whole week.
So that's why you have the schedule date here. So if I know I have somebody coming on the 26th, I can pick the 26th, and I can say they're here for, you know, I guess I can come in here and say they're here till July 28th.
So once they're in the system, you can just call that up and you don't have to put everything in again?
Well, if you're putting a different pass for somebody, you can do that, but you should be able to, I haven't tried changing somebody. Let's see if I change this one. Yeah, if I call them up, I can call them up and just change it. No, I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if I can do an old one. Yeah, I can just change the date on an old one. Yes, you could just pick somebody, change the dates, and say we send another e-pass again. Let's schedule dates. Oh no, it's just been taken. I didn't go forward enough because, okay, well, yeah, because when I opened this up, it gave me the old date that they were here. I have to go forward and pick a new date. Past that. So yeah, so you can pick an old visitor and just change the dates.
So can you use this for vendors coming down the island to do work at your house?
You can put the vendor in, but when they come through, they still have to pay the gate fee if they don't have a pass.
So
If they don't have a pass, they still have to put the gate fee. Because when they see the logos on the truck and all that, they're gonna say, where are you going? So, you know, it's something they're looking out for because they know people are doing this. I mean, technically, you should be putting in vendor passes in for them. They should be paying the gate fee as they come through and saying where they're going. It would be nice to do this if you do put your vendor in, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of vendors, the security struggles with this. The vendors come up and go, I'm going, and they have a pass from 3 days ago, and they go, I'm going to the same place. And then they get a call from a resident who gets a notification that that contractor just came through on their address again. And they go, I didn't have them come through again. Or, you know, or they're trying to ask them all the time. That's the other problem they have too, is the vendor comes up, I'm going to the same place. Are you really going to the same place? Which address are you going to? And, you know, so if everybody puts their passes in this way, they'll know where people are going. But then you want to really put the company name in so that they see that company name come up. So if you're doing a vendor, you probably really want to put that company name in. Make sure we collect those gate fees.
What arrangement is there for the lawn services?
They usually have, most of them have a yearly pass. Or they have the, a lot of them come through with, on the gate side with it, they have the RFID reader, but they pay yearly for that. And when that expires, it stops them from coming in until they repay it again. All right, let's see if it does open up. Oh, there is a problem. Let's see this.
You know, David, there's another very nice feature about that Tech Control. When your guest comes through the gate, you're sent a text, they've arrived.
Right, you get the notification because as soon as they scan that, it's an automatic. The pass automatically prints out. The security guard doesn't have to do anything. So the pass automatically prints out and you automatically get notified.
You know, think the system knows to send it to me, I think.
Yeah, when your information is in there, or like when you log into the website, it shows you your information. And so if your information is correct, it'll have your cell phone number in there, and it tells you, and this checkbox is for you, whether you want to be notified or not. In fact, I can show you that too. So we go to the members website.
So when the kids show up, you can hide your checkbook.
What's the checkbook?
They've already trained
What's the
that.
checkbook?
They trained that.
Okay, so if I'm in here, we have the gate pass thing right here on the front page. We have this. Come in here, I'll take gate pass again. That's my username. Okay, so again, so this it says welcome David, shows my visitors, I can add a visitor. It's going to give you the same kind of screen, so you have first name, last name, company, again, the host address, you have your contact email, contact phone number for your guests, your times, you can write a note if you want, and again, you have to save and send e-pass button over here. So you have that, and then usually you can see your information, regulate access control. So me coming through,
The gear at the top, I think, David.
is the gear at the top. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, profile settings, so you have the gear at the top, profile settings. It gives me my name, and then I have notifications opt-in. So if you want to announce a visitor arrival by SMS, which is text message. So if you, as long as you have that checked off, you'll be notified as soon as the person comes through.
Can they get a pass for their car?
They get just one of the paper passes when they come through. But now that they just scan the app, the pass prints automatically right from the, so there's no, the security guys don't have to go look anything up. They don't have to use the computer. They don't have to try to find somebody, spell the name correctly, or type somebody in. They just scan that barcode and the pass prints. And then they just go and they rip it off the printer and they hand it over.
And does that have the map on the other side?
Yes, yep. Yes, it's the same pass. It's the same pass whether they typed it in manually and did all the work, or whether you send the barcode, it's the same pass.
So the phone app talks to this application in the website.
Yes, yeah. The app, or whether you do it on the website or you do it in the app, it's the same thing. Yeah, and it all talks to it. This is all in the cloud. Tech Control actually hosts this in the cloud for us. Okay. Let me try here. Come on. All right, I'm missing something. I know I've changed the time before. No, why it doesn't work right today.
Right.
Yeah, you know what, I have the, I have it here. Okay. Well, this is the email that went out. For some reason, the bill doesn't want to open right now. So here, so normally, I would click on that button and it would come up in here and tell me to pick a time. So it would tell me to pick a time of what time I want to pick up my food. It gives you from where you are to 2 hours in advance. So if you were doing this at 1, it would give you times from 1 till 3. It only gives you up to 2 hours to book your time. So once you pick that, then it gives you the menu categories. You have bar beverages, wine, hot beverages, frozen drinks, sandwiches. I mean, these might look slightly different. I know Karen's always changing the menu, so she's moved some stuff around, but in general, that's what it looks like. And if you click on one of them, like if I went into sandwiches, now I have the choice of deli grinders, so tuna, palmetto, BLT. And then as you click in one of those, it's gonna ask you to build your sandwich, and it's gonna give you options. Do you want white, red, white, wheat, rye, wrap, hoagie roll? You have the different proteins, so as you click on each section, you would click on that bread section, you would click on this, Klondike Deli BYO protein, and so it says minimum of 1, max of 3, so there's 3 choices under that. So you would click on that bar and it would give you the 3 choices. Then you have the side options, and you click on that, and it will give you the side options. And then you click the button Add to Order. And when you click Add to Order, so you click Add to Order, and then you'll have a Checkout Now button, but after you click Add to Order, you'll see that up in the top corner, there's always this little shopping bag up here, and that's your cart. So it said I had picked 4 items, and after you click that little bag, it can show you the different things. So it shows you current order, and it showed that I had picked originally the back 9 malt, the can of soda, a deli salad, a pepperoni pizza. It gives me my total, and I hit submit. And then when I hit submit order, you get a confirmation that pops up and says your order's been submitted. Pick it up when you want. They put the little shelves outside the deli now on the side, so you can just go pick up your order off the, you don't have to wait in line to get your order. They're gonna put them outside there on the shelves. So make sure you show up on time before the raccoons get it.
And coming soon,
Coming soon, we plan to add the pub
yes, for takeout only.
for takeout only, right? Just for takeout.
Where are they picked up? At front desk or?
When we do the pub, it'll be at the front desk. Yeah. Same place you pick up now for your takeout orders. Just you won't have to call them in. You'll be able to do it online. But we're probably another. I'm hoping like 6 weeks away, maybe. Okay. Any questions then?
I'm sorry, I was here a little late. You were going through your emails and scams. As I was seated, you just finished a description of unsubscribing, where you should not fill in those boxes when you want to unsubscribe from something you never ordered or wanted.
Right.
Why is that?
Because generally those unsubscribe buttons are part of the scam because they're junk anyway. If you click on them, it's probably going to give you some kind of error. It could download a virus to your computer. It could download some kind of spyware that does keystrokes. They're scams to start with, so they're not very scrupulous about putting the scam inside the unsubscribe link.
So you should just erase it.
Just erase it, get rid of it. Just ignore them and get rid of them.
Day after day after day.
Day after day after day. Well, you can take it, if they're coming into your inbox, just right click on them and say, send the junk.
Right click on.
Yeah, usually you can right click and then, or even, okay, on your phone, you can usually hold your finger on it, and then a menu will pop up. And you can usually add the junk, or this is junk, or usually there's some kind of notification.
But for companies that kind of reach out and send out mass emails to people, I don't know, pick one, ALP, you can do the unsubscribe.
Those you can unsubscribe to, right, legitimate emails. If you're tired of getting stuff, you don't shop at Home Depot anymore, and you want to stop at Home Depot emails, you can click unsubscribe on those. Anything that's a legitimate email, absolutely you can unsubscribe to. Anything you signed up for you don't want anymore, absolutely unsubscribe for it, get rid of it. Take it off the list.
David, I am on the .net, so I get all these emails, and all of a sudden, I am no longer getting the ones from the pro shops, from landscaping, from Brian, Collinsworth, and I never unsubscribe from order, I just don't get them.
Okay, from our regular email system, not the .net.
David, describe the difference between the .net and the stuff that comes from the club.
So the .net is for communications between members. Generally, as the club, we don't send messages out through that. I think Warren might with a certain group for pickleball or tennis for certain groups, but there's a specific group list for that. But otherwise, the club doesn't put emails. The emails that are coming from Brian and the pro shop or coming from me, those come through where you have the subscriptions in there. So if I go back to the member website, you can see where you subscribe to everything. I can show you where the subscriptions are. So this is me, I'm liking this me. If I go to my club and my profile, and I come down and have my profile settings, and of course I have my picture, my contact information, and where is, why it's not, maybe under my settings. Yeah, so under my settings, I have these show, and I have member campaign categories. As you can see, these are the things I'm subscribed to. So where I have a check mark over here is what I'm subscribed to. So like, I don't get an email on the indoor pool conditions. I don't use the indoor pool, so.
And that, where did you find that?
So that is under your profile, so under my club, my profile, and then my settings.
On your phone?
You can do it on your phone too if you want.
Okay, so I'm under my account,
Mm-hmm.
okay, my profile. Then it doesn't have all that.
Okay, hold on.
Not the,
What's
not
it?
the app, it has to be the website.
Yeah, for subscribing, for doing descriptions, it has to be the website, it's not,
The
yeah, you can't do
website
it.
is not on it, I mean, I
You
have to
can
type
have
it
the
in.
website on your phone too, but you have to be on the website to do what he's showing you.
Not in the app, you have to go to members.com and log in. You have to do it on the website, .com.
Same as you would use on your computer.
Yeah, but I'm using it on my computer, this is it.
So you can do it there, you can open, is that iPhone or Google, you just open the web browser and you can do it.
Would it be handy to have it right there?
Well, it's just the app doesn't do that, it's a little, the app does different pieces and has a whole different function. Doesn't remember, there's certain things in your member profile you can do in the app,
Not making pictures.
but not everything. Any other questions? Anybody? Anything? No? Oh, thank you very much.